E3 starts with two Pikmin carrying in the old Nintendo logo. Why the old one? Because the new one kinda sucks. We're then told about this game's main character, Captain Jeff or whatever, who after committing several heinous wars, who was then banished to a random planet which we can recognize as PNF. Luckily, Captain Jeff landed right next to our new race of Pikmin known as Gunmen, who are fighting a bulborb, I think. And thanks to Captain Jeff, we then see a bunch of the normal Pikmin gameplay. Who cares? Because look, Knifeman throw these at a bulborb's eyes. And look, he's blind. We then see Jeff telling a bunch of random Pikmin to carry something to some place. They're carrying it to a spaceship or a house or something like that. Pikmin 4 releases never. You don't get the game. Next is a trailer for Mario 4. The sequel to Mario 3 you all wanted. We see him murdering a Goomba or something, who cares? Mario 4 releases on the GameCube in 2023. Pre-order now for the Luigi bonus. Next we see Mario and Luigi jump up on screen. Yeah, that's right, Nintendo's best franchise is back. Except Mario dies, and is replaced by Waluigi. Luigi 12, only on the 3DS 2. Next, guess what? GameCube, DS, and Game Boy Advance games on Switch. Not N64 though, because that system sucks. Except you, Paper Mario, you're amazing. Mwah. Anyway, this will be available after the presentation for only 5,000. 5,000 what? You'll find. Next is like Kirby in 3D, I guess. Who actually cares about the Kirby franchise? Like, in all seriousness, who cares? That was a joke. All 7 Kirby fans, please do not get angry at me. Also, Donkey Kong for the first time in like 20 years whenever Tropical Freeze. Then we get the one last thing of Breath of the Wild 2, which is interrupted by Waluigi coming in and being the crap. So you may be wondering, what did you just witness? Well, that was what I want to see in this year's E3. Kind of. I mean, obviously some parts of it were exaggerated jokes. I mean, Knifeman, who came up with that? And I mean, different games on NSO wouldn't cost 5,000. It cost 15,000. Anyway, let's discuss. First, I think, was Pikmin 4. I want to see the next Pikmin game. Miyamoto has been saying for a ridiculously long time now that, Pikmin 4 is in the works, it's in the works, it's been pushed down the schedule a little bit because other things more important, but it's in the works. I don't think it is. Like, I think it's in the works in the same way that the game I'm definitely making is in the works, where there's a couple doodles on a piece of paper or something. But hey, let's hope that it is actually being worked on and that now, thanks to Pikmin 3 Deluxe's decent sales, it's been bumped up a little bit and it will release soon. So yeah, in the Pikmin 4 trailer, just like the horrifying thing you had to witness at the start, I'd like to see a little bit of the story. I'd like to see 1 or 2 of the new Pikmin. If they do show off 2, then I hope there is 1 or 2 more. Because that's one thing I really didn't like about Pikmin 3, is that they kind of revealed every Pikmin type right at you. Like through the title screen and through advertising, and even though pink Pikmin are the second last type you get in the game, it's still not that far off because the game isn't exactly that long. Speaking of which, that's another thing I'd like to see, is a longer Pikmin game. Like, 1 was a pretty good length, 2 was really big with all the caverns and caves and such, and then 3 was quite short. I mean, it's beautiful and I love it, don't get me wrong, but I mean, come. Even people suffering from dwarfism aren't that short. Next was Mario 4, and I would honestly like to see a new Mario title. I mean, we get one every single year, but it's been a good long while since Odyssey, so it would be cool to see a new Odyssey game, or even a new 2D Mario. I kind of understand why we haven't gotten one in a good while. You know, Mario Maker kind of replaced it, but the issue with Mario Maker is that a lot of people don't see that as a collection of levels. Like, the thing about Mario Maker is that you can play infinite levels, obviously enough, but many just see it as you have to make your own levels. So I think maybe we should get a proper Switch 2D Mario title, but even then it'd have to be very unique. Can't be doing the same stuff that the new Super Mario Bros. Series has been doing. Like, the original on the DS was pretty unique. Actually, it's probably very unique, but now over time, thanks to Wii U, and 2, it's become a stale formula. Like, yeah, there's still good bits within them, but at the end of the day, it's still grasslands, desert, ocean, forest, who cares? Eventually lead up to Bowser, you kill Bowser, the end. Next, a new Mario and Luigi. Please, this is the one thing, like, if I don't get anything else in this direct, as long as I get even the smallest teaser, just the title saying it's coming in like 4 years, I don't care. That would keep me very, very happy. I really want to see a new Mario and Luigi game. It is by far one of my favorite series, and Nintendo didn't really make it, but still, And obviously Mario wouldn't die in the title, but it would be cool to get Waluigi playable. I feel like Waluigi is a really underutilized character. Like, I guarantee you, if they just made a generic 3D Mario game, but they made Waluigi and Wario the main characters, people would buy that game so much. Also, a new Wario Land or WarioWare would be quite nice. Anyway, the main gimmick for this new Mario & Luigi game could be full 3D, or just use the analog stick, since pretty much every single Mario & Luigi title does have some form of gimmick relating to the system's abilities. So you look at the first one, it had 2 face buttons. Yes, that had been done before, but now it's 2 face buttons. And it's not the stinking Game Boy. And then Partners in Time focused on 4 face buttons, 4 characters, as well as using 2 screens, just not that much. And then Bowser's Inside Story used 2 screens as well, but the unique part of it was that it used the touchscreen, as well as rotating the DS, as well as the mic. It pretty much used everything else on the DS. Next, Dream Team used tilting the 3DS. I really wished it didn't, because that sucked. Like, for some of them it was okay, but like, the final big fight of the game, when I'm referring to Luigi being big, not the final boss, having to tilt the DS to actually get it to work, or the big fight before that, it is infuriating. Paper Jam was also there, but it didn't really use the gimmick, other than, I guess, using the touchscreen as a minimap and a menu. I really did like how you were able to switch between all the things from there, instead of just having to use the right bumper. Because both my 2DS and original DS's right bumpers are kind of scuffed now, because of the older games reliant on using it. Next, Kirby. I think it was Kirby next, I have no clue. The thing about Kirby is that it somehow still hasn't gotten a full 3D game. Like, it's gotten the 3D for selecting levels in the new one, and there's like a 3DS game where it was 3D, but it wasn't a full Kirby game. Just, at this point, give us a full 3D Kirby. I mean, the team are saying that they've been working on something big, so I'm assuming that it is a 3D Kirby. I can see the franchise definitely working in the third dimension. Like, yeah, there might have to be a few tweaks here and there, maybe make it so Kirby can't float infinitely. But yeah, just make a 3D Kirby already. What are you doing? Next, Donkey Kong. I think Donkey Kong, it is a really old franchise. The Mario series is basically a spin-off of it, somewhat. And yet we haven't received a title since like 2015 with Tropical Freeze. Yes, it got re-released onto the Switch, but still, you know, it's been a good long while, and recently enough there was a rumor going around of the Mario Odyssey team working on Donkey Kong. Now, it's likely going to be 2D, so don't get your hopes up of a Donkey Kong 64 2, but I would like to see if this is true, even if it doesn't mean we get Mario Odyssey 2 or something. I don't care, it would be cool to see another Donkey Kong title. Next, Breath of the Wild 2. We have known about this title for almost as long as Breath of the Wild 1 was known about. Like, I forget exactly which direct it was announced in. It might have been 2018, but it has been a ridiculously long time since reveal. And I thought the whole purpose of sequels was that you use a system you already have to make something completely new in quick turnaround time. I mean, look at Majora's Mask. That game was made in only 1 year, and many see that as one of the best titles. So that's what I was expecting here, but as it gets on longer and longer, I'm just thinking, what are they doing? Like, how big of a change is this game gonna be? But I think we might finally see some of it in this E3, as the main Zelda guy in the last direct did say development was going along smoothly, and that they can't show us a trailer yet. Also, Zelda's anniversary is this year, so just show us the game already. And then I finish it off with the one last thing, Waluigi and Smash. Look, there is definitely going to be one Smash reveal during this presentation. There might be 2. If there was 2, I'd like to see Fawful. Definitely won't be getting both Fawful and Waluigi. Heck, we might not even get Waluigi at all, but it would be cool to see him, because he is probably everyone's favorite villain from the Mario & Luigi series, and he also showed up in 3 of them. And if they were going to bring a character from that series in, I think he's the only one they really could. Like, I guess you can bring in Cackletta or Antasma, but I feel like Fawful would be the #1 definite pick from that series. Also, Waluigi, as I said earlier, just give him a game, and give him a chance, and of course put him in Smash, because He just makes sense to be there. We've got the other Mario guys, we've got most of the Mario characters that really could be added in before we get down to Goombas, which honestly could be possible because we got a bloody piranha. But like, for main key characters, you know, they're starting to have to scrape at the bottom of the barrel for them. Like, who have we got left? Pauline, Kamek, or Dry Bowser? I mean, you could also have Baby Mario and Baby Luigi, but why? So I think Waluigi is probably going to be the next Mario character added, if they are adding any, and if it can't be from the RPGs. Because if it can be from the RPGs, then we're getting Paper Mario, we're getting Fawful long before him. Also, before anyone thinks, well, he can't really have the moveset, he really can. I mean, he can single-handedly represent all of the sports titles and pretty much all the spin-offs that he's in. Like Mario Kart, Mario Golf, Tennis, Party, Hoops, 3-on-3, all of them can be represented just through this one character. Also, he's funny Purple Man, why wouldn't you want him in? Anyway, some others I couldn't make up things for. Mario Party 2. I'd really like to see them try Mario Party again. My big issue with Super was the lack of boards, because there's only 4, and the heavy reliance on motion controls, which, the thing about motion controls is that they're fine if they're optional, but when they're required, you're making it so a whole demographic of people aren't able to play the game. Also, another issue I had with it is just, it felt kind of basic. Like, this might be because my favorite Mario Party is DS, where everything is really scuffed and all the sound effects are really crunch, but it just doesn't seem right. Anyway, another thing, Mario & Rabbids 2. And honestly, Mario & Rabbids is probably my favorite game on the system. Like, it's got really good music, it's really fun to play. It references Waluigi, which even Nintendo can barely do. So seeing a sequel to it would be really exciting. Of course, the sequel will have new characters. You can probably guess whose name I'm going to say, beginning with W. Wario. Also Waluigi, Daisy, Rosalina. I don't care, just give me a sequel, even if it's the exact same people. Please give me more. Like the Donkey Kong DLC for it, that was really great. Give me something like that, just more. Give more. Maybe even make it Paper Mario themed. I don't know, just more. Also, to touch back on more game systems coming to Switch, I think that is very, very likely. I mean, they've given it a proper icon, and people have been delving into the code, and there seems to be more and more evidence pointing towards more stuff coming. All I'm really hoping for is that if more stuff does come, please don't let it be just Game Boy and N64. Like, the N64 is fine, and I do like it. Me saying that it was terrible, that was a joke. Like, it is a good system, same with the Game Boy, but it would be very disappointing if that's all we got. Because me and many others, we would love to see GameCube on Switch. I do feel like sometimes people say that GameCube is a little too good. Like, they go on and on about it a bit too much, but I kind of do get it. It is a really good system, and I think people should be given the ability to play it without having to download emulators or having to pay extreme prices to get the games for it. Which, by the way, can play off of an original Wii console, just in case you didn't know. Game Boy Advance, a lot of people also want to say, because that system was really good. Albeit a lot of the library was just ports from the Super Nintendo, there still was a good amount of new games on there that were really remarkable. I mean, that's where the Mario and Luigi series started. How could you not like the system? It also had a bunch of Pokemon titles. Golden Sun started there. Wario Land 4 was on that, and that is the greatest achievement. Also, the Mario vs. Donkey Kong series was still playable there. And DS, I love the DS. It's probably my favorite Nintendo system, not just because of Bowser's Inside Story, but because of the other Mario and Luigi titles. Also because of New Super Mario Bros, Mario Party DS, Mario Kart DS. I'm pretty sure that's the system where WarioWare started as well. And I know that these ones aren't Nintendo, but, you know, Drawn to Life was on that. The Best Way to Play Chrono Trigger was on that. And you know what, maybe they should go further. Maybe give us Wii games on Switch, or even bloody 3DS games, I don't know, just put every system on Switch, why not? And I mean, I guess 3DS is really cool, I know. I mean, there hasn't been any proper Nintendo published titles since like 2019, when they realized that, hey, maybe we shouldn't release games 2 years after the Switch had released. And I haven't actually seen any 3DS games on store shelves in a good while. Mostly because I haven't been to stores in a good while, but still, when I do go back to them, there will probably not be any 3DS titles left on there. So sure, put it on there. Put Wii games on there. Put Wii U games on there. Even though that's already like half the Switch's whole thing, library, just put more on. Just keep going. And one last thing I'd like to see is just the themes and folders. People really want to see themes and folders, and I can kind of get it. I mean, the way that the Switch is now, it's not the best. When the system before it did it better, both the Wii U and the 3DS, they know that there's some form of issue. Also, revamping up the eShop, because it's just so hard to actually find new titles. Like, half the time, when I do get a new, smaller title, it's entirely through recommendations from, YouTubers, or we're seeing comments and replies about somebody talking about it. Also, you know what, while they're at it, this video is entirely just suggestions of stuff I'd want to see. Will any of this happen? Probably not, but just while they're at it, make it so the whole friending system doesn't suck. Like, the fact that you have to give your friend a ridiculously long code is stupid. They've been pulling that since the Wii, which I guess makes sense, as they've been using the same online system since the Wii, up until now, when people realized, oh, but just every other system is doing it, and by every other, I mean 3, like PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. They're all having it, so you just look up the name, you send a request, just have that on Switch. Also, built-in messaging would go amiss. And actually, another thing, I know I said that was going to be the last one, but who cares? Switch Pro, show that off. There's more and more things pointing towards the likelihood of a Switch Pro. There's leakers saying that there's going to be a Switch Pro, so I want to see that in the direct. Show us the Switch Pro. The one big thing I really want to see in it is that the Joy-Cons aren't pure garbage. Like, I love the feel of the Pro Controller. Just get the Pro Controller, snap it in half, glue those onto the side of the Switch, instead of the stupid things you have now. I have not played the Switch in handheld mode for so long just because I don't like the Joy-Cons. Also, due to the fact that all my Joy-Cons are broken, who would have guessed they're drifting. So anytime I am going somewhere, most of the time I just get the system, prop it up against something, and use a Pro Controller, because that is how bad the Joy-Cons are to me. Anyway, that's it. That's the end of the video now. I swear I'm not going to add on anything else. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you like how at the start I actually did something like the Mario Galaxy review? Speaking of which, I'm sorry I'm not have made any of the content like that. Also, wow, nice English on my part. I just have not been able to find the motivation for it, but I mean, hey, funny summertime, I'll try and get more of those out. Who knows, maybe I'll even try to do something like this Road to E3, where I try to upload every single week. Speaking of which, how are you enjoying the Road to E3? Do you like actually having uploads more often, or is it just making you hate my channel a lot more because there's a lot more of me condensed down into a much smaller time span? I mean, every week isn't such small, but still, it's a lot more often than once every 4 months. So what do you want to see in E3? Who cares? If you're listening to this part, well done. Go eat something that you enjoy. Bye.